Okay, so here's how to make 5K a month plus in 2025 as an appointment setter. Now, the reason why you should listen to me is I've done this myself, okay? I've done this myself. I was working a dead-end job that I hated and went on to make well above 5K a month plus as an appointment setter. And this is exactly how I did it. It's exactly how I recommend anybody who's quite new to the space or anybody who's kind of like not got any results yet. I recommend you to do this way too, okay? I've managed to work with big names such as Charlie Morgan and William Brown and a few other credible mentions as well. And I've honestly changed my life through this strategy. So if you're doing this wrong, you're not getting any results with setting, or you're interested to start, this is exactly the process I want you to follow, right? Now, before I get into it, I need to run you through the wrong way, because this is probably what you're doing right now and you need to be aware of it, because you're probably thinking that appointment setting doesn't work, or it's saturated or whatever, blah, 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 because you're doing it the wrong way, quite frankly, okay? It's not that it's saturated, it's not that it doesn't work, it's not that it's hard, it's because you're doing it the wrong way. And if you knew it the right way, you'd get the same results, right? So this is you, okay? You're looking very skinny, little stick man there. You working a dead end job. Don't worry, it's fine, I was working one too, but you're probably in a job that you hate right now, okay? Probably a 9 to 5, probably a retail job. You're probably not making the money you want to make, okay? You want to quit your job, and you want to make 5K a month plus, okay? We all do, but you really, really want to do it. So you're looking online for methods and ways to make it, and you come across appointment setting and you decide to give it a try, right? You see how lucrative appointment setting could be. It sounds interesting to you, so you think, okay, I'll give that a try. You watch 4 outdated YouTube tutorials and you blindly copy the people that are telling you to do certain specific methods in those videos. You think that they know what they're talking about when they actually, in reality, they don't know what they're talking about. They haven't even been in the appointment setting space. They're just spewing BS. You watch 4 outdated YouTube videos and you blindly copy. You go to Facebook groups and you apply to 12 random positions, right? Bear in mind you have an awful looking page and you don't know how to follow up. You don't follow up at all in that case either, and you don't know how to stand out, okay? You look just like everybody else. You finally get a response after sending these random applications with no thought behind it and no knowledge behind it and no intent. You finally get a response, you get excited, but you realize, oh, it's a scam, okay? And this is something you have to be really careful of, because this is really common in the appointment setting space. If you don't know what you're looking for, you can get scammed pretty easily. And what I mean by that is sometimes there are positions of people saying, we'll pay you 5K a month plus, guaranteed, but you need to pay us £1,000 to get started. Like, there's a lot of scams in this space, right? And it's not just appointment setting as a whole. It's kind of the whole online realm. You need to know what you're looking out for, but specifically for appointment setting, it's really easy to kind of get in the wrong hands, okay? In terms of like getting scammed, and it comes from not knowing what you're looking for. And this is what happens: you watch 4 outdated YouTube video tutorials, you blindly copy. You've done no due diligence. You have no knowledge on how to do this correctly. You have no idea how to vet offers or anything like that, and you end up basically getting scammed, or getting your hopes up and realizing, oh, it was a fake position all along, okay? So you get discouraged, but you try again for another 2 weeks. You think, oh, let's give it another 2 weeks, let's try again. You repeat the same cycle, you still get no results, and then what happens is you give up because it's too saturated or it doesn't work, right? That is now your paradigm for appointment setting, all because you didn't really give any kind of, you didn't actually put any effort in the beginning. Go through all of this process, and you end up giving up because it's too saturated and it doesn't work. And then what happens then? What happens then, mate? You go back to working a dead-end job and living the life that you hate. And now this is the sad story of most people that get into appointment setting. Honestly, this is what happens to most people, and it's really sad to see. But it all comes from not having the knowledge on how to do it the right way. Appointment setting isn't saturated, it isn't a scam, and it does work. I'm telling you right now, I've done it myself. It's what's got me out of my dead-end job that I was working a couple of years ago. It got me out of that and to making 5K a month plus, and honestly, it's changed my life. And I promise you, if you just know how to do it right, I promise it does work, and you will get out of that dead-end job, okay? I promise, okay? Because I've done it myself. I'm not just spewing BS like most of these other people on YouTube, right? So the errors here that you need to account for. You've got an immature account. This is a big one. You've got an immature account of you on a lad's holiday, and you're basically, you're on the floor basically throwing up in a pile of your own sick. And you've just you've got these photos of you on lad's holidays and being immature and not looking very presentable, okay? I don't know why guys think that they can just apply to these positions to work with these big time business owners and not think to have a mature looking account. Like, you have no shame showing videos of you being drunk in Zante. Like, you wouldn't do that for a normal like job application in the real world, would you? Like in the physical world. So why would you do it now? People, I don't know why people think like their brains just shut off. It needs to work the same way. So you have an immature account. You're trying to do it all yourself with no guidance, right? Like a couple of YouTube videos here and there isn't going to be enough, right? Even for example, even this video right now isn't going to be enough for you to fully succeed, because again, you need to speak to someone. You need to have guidance with someone who's actually done it themselves, right? And actually knows what they're talking about. Because most of these guys, they haven't even done appointment setting themselves. They haven't even been in the space. They haven't even set a single appointment for a single offer, right? They don't know what they're talking about, right? So you trying to do it yourself with no guidance is a massive mistake, because you're just going to fail. You wouldn't, like, let's say for example you had a boxing match coming up. You signed up for a boxing match, right, in a couple of months. Would you go to YouTube and just start learning from there? Oh yeah, I'll just teach myself with YouTube, and then I'll try it myself. No, you wouldn't. You get a PT or a coach, right? It's the same with this. This is a very, very bold claim, right? It's a very bold thing to achieve. Quit your job and make 5K a month from your phone. Do you know how hard that is and how many people try and do it, right? So you need someone to hold your hand. This is not an easy thing to do, right? You need someone who's done it before to hold your hand the entire way, because otherwise it's just not going to work. It's like trying to win your first like amateur boxing fight. You need someone to hold your hand. This is a very bold thing to achieve. You can't do it by yourself. Okay, so that's mistake number 2. Trying to do it yourself with no guidance. And using generic and outdated strategies. This is what comes from learning from people that don't really know what they're talking about on YouTube. They give you an outreach script and a method of going to Facebook groups and using this script, and you'll get positions and then like nothing else, right? Maybe it worked back then, but it doesn't work now, right? Outdated strategies from people that don't even know what they're talking about. Very, very big thing to keep in mind. Not understanding the business they're applying to. So yeah, I want to be an appointment setter, great. But you don't actually understand the business you're applying to. You don't understand the niche, the market, the pain points, the problems, the price points. You don't know what to look out for, okay? You don't understand the business you're actually applying to. So how can you stand out and land a position with a company that you have no knowledge on? You don't understand the lingo, you don't understand the terms, you don't understand anything about it. So how are you going to stand out, right? Okay, it just makes me laugh. So not putting any effort in, just copying everyone else. This is the funny thing. People say appointment setting is like saturated and really difficult because they go to job posts on Facebook, right? And they see 100 applicants, 100 people have commented on this post. For example, the job post might say, comment setter to apply to this, right? And then you see 100 comments, and that will scare you off because you think, oh, it's too saturated. But you don't realize these hundreds of people that are commenting have no idea what they're doing. All they're doing, right? They have an immature account. They're doing all of this. They have an immature account, trying to do it themselves, using generic and outdated strategies. They don't follow up, and they're not putting any effort in. Okay, all of these people are doing the same thing. So what you need to do is just stand out and look a little bit different, and you'll get the position. Believe me, trust me. I've landed positions in companies that loads of people have been fighting to get in, and I've got it because I've done these strategies that I'm going to show you in a second, right? So not putting any effort in, literally just copying and pasting, copying everyone else, and just not really giving it any thought and not really giving it any care, to be honest. Not sending enough volume, not consistent. For example, 12 job posts, right? Even though it is the wrong method, even though you're doing it wrong, 12 job posts, 12 random positions that you're applying to isn't enough to change your life, right? You've got to understand, you need to be pumping, like, you need to keep going. You need to keep pumping job posts out and applications. Like, you're not going to get it with 12 positions. You can't give up after sending 20 applications. It doesn't work like that, okay? If you're going to do that, let me ask you a question. How bad do you actually want this, right? Like, this isn't how it works. You don't apply to 12 random positions. Bear in mind, you don't know what the hell you're doing, but you don't apply to 12 random positions even with the right method, and then decide, oh, I'm going to quit because nobody responded to me. No, you need to keep pumping out applications, right? You need to keep it consistent. So that's another thing people fail with. They do it. They get discouraged because they're not getting it as fast as they want it. Number one, they're not doing it the right method. And number two, they're not sending out enough volume anyway, right? And the last one is not understanding how to vet offers and spot scams. This is a really big one. How can you why would you apply to an offer that you don't even understand, right? How can you understand if you're going to make 5K a month? Like, you need to understand the payment structures, the common scams, the common pitfalls to avoid, the common red flags. There's so much that goes into it. It's not just a case of go onto Facebook groups and apply to job posts. It is so much more deep than that, okay? So this is the wrong way to do it, and it's probably how you're doing it right now. So I'm sorry, this is the hard truth. If you do it this way, you're going to keep working your dead-end job that I know you don't want to do, right? So, going on from that, this is the right way, okay? This is how I recommend you to do it. This is how you actually get paid well and to the point where you can quit your job and do this full time, like I've done it myself, okay? This is how you do it, right? So this is you again, stickman you. You're working a dead-end job. You want to get out. You want to quit your job. You want to make 5K a month plus, right? From your phone with appointment setting. So you find appointment setting. You hire a coach who's already done it to shortcut the process. Bosh, right? already ahead of everyone else when you do that, right? Then you build a clean, professional, optimized social profile that intrigues prospects and builds trust immediately. Big one, okay? I'd say this is honestly one of the most important parts of the entire process, is having an account that just builds authority and builds trust. Because that's kind of like, that is the foundation of all of this. Everything else doesn't matter. It all comes from here, right? A professional, optimized social profile that intrigues prospects and builds trust. Now, if you have experience in sales, bear in mind, appointment setting, it doesn't matter if you have no experience in sales, because when I first started, I had zero experience and I still managed to land a position and quit my job a month later. Anyway, off topic. Like this is really important. A clean, professional, optimized social profile that builds trust and intrigues prospects. That is the foundation, okay? So you've got to make sure you got that right. Now, the next one is understanding the different types of offers and how to speak to the niche. This is really important. Again, like, how are you going to stand out if you don't even understand the market or the niche that you're entering into, right? These guys, like, you need to do a little bit of research, guys, right? You need to do a little bit of due diligence. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to look like how are you going to come from a place of authority if you can't even speak the language of the niche you're trying to get into, okay? Like, you need to understand a little bit, right? You need to do a little bit of research. Nobody does this, and this is why nobody gets appointment setting positions anymore, because they all just like monkey see, monkey do, and they just like hope that they copy and paste like applications to job posts and then hope for the best, right? That's why you're failing. Then you apply to 5 to 10 job posts per day with hyper-personalized videos and specific compliments, and it really is this simple, right? When you find a job post, what you're going to do is you're going to essentially make sure you can find them elsewhere on Google, right, or on Instagram, and you go look into their profile and their personality, right? You're going to find something like, I don't know, let's say John is hiring for a setter position for a fitness coaching offer. So you look up John on Google, right, and you realise he likes to run marathons. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply you following his instructions in the job post. So it could be comment setter, and we'll show you how to, we'll enter you into the application process, right? So you'll do that, but then you'll also you'll personally message him with a personalised video, and you say, hey John, I've just seen your job post for an appointment setter. Really quickly though, I've just seen that you're really into your marathons. I'm actually running the London Marathon this weekend or next year, right? Maybe I'll see you there. Just thought it'd be funny to say, right? And then you just go into why you want to get into the job and what's going to make you stand out and why you think you'd be a good fit, okay? And that's a topic for another day. But yeah, you apply to 5 to 10 job posts per day with hyper-personalized videos and specific compliments. Everybody already just doing that is already setting you away from all of the competition, okay? You're already ahead of the curve when you do this. Then you follow up 8 to 10 times across Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, phone, and even bloody postcard. If you can find their address, honestly, I'd go this far. If you're that serious about getting an appointment setting position, you'd find them everywhere. You've reached out to them on the job post and you go, you know what? I'm going to message everywhere. You are not going to get rid of me. Okay, I'm going to stand out. Like, how many other people are going to go this far to, if you can find their address, send them a postcard saying, hey, I've just applied to your setter position on Facebook, right? This is honestly, these two are the biggest leverage points. And knowing how to ask the right questions, vet the offer, and establish a strong payment structure. I should have put structure there. This is really important too. You need to ask the right questions, because if you know how to ask the right questions, it's going to make you stand out a lot more, and they're going to see you as from a place of authority again. Okay, they're going to trust you. They're going to be more inclined to hire you than someone else, somebody who's done their own research. And also establishing a strong payment structure. There's a lot of payment structures in the appointment setting space that you need to be aware of, that you especially need to keep into account when you first start out, okay? And you need to understand all of the payment structures and how you can leverage them to your best of your ability, right? Again, a topic for another day, but it's really important you know how to do this. When you land a position, you get paid 5k a month plus. You never have to go back to a 9 to 5 again, and that is you at the end. Giga Chad, right? That's you living that life. It's me, right? This is the life I'm living now. 5k a month plus, can travel the world whenever I want to, can do whatever I want, basically work for myself, work whenever I want to from my phone. It's incredible, okay? So here's the key wins, but before I get into this, a quick plug if you want to learn exactly how to do this properly, because this is just a very brief overview. If you want to get a very high level overview of how you can do this yourself and land an appointment setting position within a couple of weeks and start making thousands of dollars a month from your phone ASAP, the same way I did, there is going to be a link in the description below to book a call with me, and I'll run you through exactly how I can help you do this pretty bloody fast. Okay, I will help you avoid all of the mistakes that you're likely going to make or you're already making by doing it yourself, and I will get you a position that pays you these kind of numbers really bloody fast, because I've done it myself several times over, and I've also helped several other people do it too. But full transparency, it will be a sales call. Okay, so if you don't want to book the call, if you don't want to be sold to, then don't book it. I'm not going to push you to do anything you don't want to do. But if you are deadly serious about getting out of your dead end job that I know you hate working, if you're serious about making appointment setting work and making these kind of numbers from your phone, then I would strongly urge you to book a call with me down below, and I'll run you through exactly how I can help you specifically start making these numbers and quit your job pretty bloody fast. Okay, so link in the description. Again, if you don't want to book it, if you don't want to be sold to, don't worry. But if you're serious, then book in the call and I'll run you through how I can help. But quick plug over the key wins here. Okay, the key wins from this strategy compared to the wrong strategy is you hire a mentor to skip the trial and error. Okay, very important. You have a sharp and niche relevant social profile that builds trust fast. Again, extremely important. You send customized standout applications daily. Really bloody important. You speak the language of business owners. You follow up like a machine, and you use multi-platform omnipresence. So that basically means like you apply to a position on Facebook, and then what you do is you keep pestering them on every other platform you can find them on until you basically get hired. Okay, and believe me, like it might sound a bit too much, but these guys are looking for A players and killers that are ready to do that, because that is the kind of stuff you have to do on one of these positions. All right. And you know how to protect your income and negotiate smart payment structures. Again, that's really important, especially for beginners that are getting started. If you don't know what you're doing, you can kind of get mugged off with the wrong payment structure, or you can kind of get scammed if you don't know what you're doing. So it's really important that you know how to protect your income and negotiate smart payment structures, okay? And you filter out red flag offers before you're wasting your time, right? Really important that you understand. These two kind of go together. You need to understand exactly what you're doing. You don't just blindly follow and blindly copy some outdated method that some YouTube has given you. You need to know exactly what you're doing. So yeah, if you do this, I promise you, if you do this, you find a coach, you build a clean, professional, optimized profile, you understand different types of offers and how to speak to the niche. You apply to 5 to 10 job posts per day with hyper-personalized videos and compliments. You follow up like a madman 8 to 10 times across all platforms. You know how to ask the right questions, vet the offer, and establish a strong payment structure. You will land a position that gets paid, 5K a month plus, and you never have to come back to a 9 to 5 again, and you will end up looking like this. Okay, I promise. If you do this right and you follow exactly what I've shown you there, you will have much better experience than right up here, which is probably what you're doing right now. So there you go. There you have it. If you're serious about making this work, you'll follow this strategy.